Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade.
I'm still Joe.
And this is Music Month. A little disclaimer. This episode might be a little late. I apologize if it was late because my computer had to get repaired. It's the battery issue, and Apple's like, we have to send it off-site, and you're like, just put a new battery in, man.
I think it's like a lithium-ion thing.
So,
and it has to be done a certain way.
I know it's a mall Apple store, so. But yeah, so that's being sent off-site. I thought it was gonna be like a day or two. No, they said a week. So, yeah. So this episode might not air on Wednesday. I apologize, but as you're watching,
if it's Wednesday, we made miracles happen.
Yes.
If it's not Wednesday when you see this,
just a little disclaimer because I know we missed the week last month, and I know I hate doing that stuff. So I just let you know the computer's back. And it's 100% better, so there's more videos coming. So, yeah.
You're trying to... Go ahead.
I feel bad. Anyway.
I just think it's funny you're talking in the future about getting your... It's funny. It's funny to me.
Anyway, this episode is going to be a music one, and it's...
Yeah, it's Music Month.
There was, like... We were debating on, like, another music movie that we still might do. But I was like, we've done too much punk rock, I think. Mm-hmm. And too much, like, metal and stuff. So we're going to do something, we're going to go folk on this one. We're doing Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yep.
Directed by the Coen brothers.
You can read the title of the video.
This is the first Coen brother movie we've done.
Yeah, first Coen brothers.
There's only another one, Blood Simple, right? That's the other one, right?
So far.
Yeah.
There'll be more.
Raising Arizona?
No.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Probably. No Country for Old Men.
What's the other one? Oh, God. Barton Fink?
That one is on there.
It is?
I thought it was.
Oh.
Somebody correct me.
Big Lebowski?
No, sorry.
It's one of my favorite movies. Anyway.
Yeah.
So this movie is, it came out in 2011, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It's in the video below. So, this is a disaster already. So... It stars Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, breakout role. So, 2011, 2012 probably.
It's like another Coen brother movie where it's kind of like, you know how like, Where Brother, Where Art Thou? It's like an Odyssey.
I think this one's a little more interesting than
No, I'm saying like, it's basically him going through an odyssey of people.
True, but like, what I'm saying is I think this one's more interesting. And I like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But I think this one's a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Where... Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is a very linear story. This one has a bit of a cyclical feel to it, which ties into the theme for the character, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. No, I meant like he just means this cast of characters.
Sort of.
Well, that's every Coen brother movie, you know.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. You have great cameos. You have Justin Timberlake.
I don't.
He's not. It's better than when he was in. Was that movie In Time?
He started In Time, but this one. I don't know. He's one of the credited stars. So yeah. I mean, he's in it for a few scenes.
Yeah.
But that's more than most people.
Mostly all music scenes.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, what's interesting about this is it's a movie about a folk singer coming up in the '60s, and. One of the most interesting things to me was I was watching it and I'm listening to the songs and I'm going, I'm pretty sure that's Oscar Isaac's voice.
Yeah.
And I look it up and it is. So they got a lot of really musically talented people.
And the character is partially based off of Dave Van Ronk.
Oh yeah.
So it's
the folk.
Yeah, so the stories are kind of based around him a little bit, but loosely based.
Yeah, very loosely. Yeah. It's not enough that I don't think they can sue over it, but it's also not enough that they have to, I think, dish out a lot of royalties because they didn't like the album cover and the title is reminiscent of the David Van Ronk, and a couple of the scenarios are similar to stuff that he had like in his book.
Yeah. And there's this weird thing, like there's always this gag about the cat, and like Llewyn Davis is not really a likable character. You feel for him, though. You feel for him, but he kind of deserves everything he gets.
It's very similar to Smithereens.
Yes.
Where he kind of uses people. He's very kind of self-centered. And it's all about him. But I think there's much more of a reason given. Like, they ground his character a lot, especially when you learn what had recently happened to him.
Yeah. He has a taste of success, and then it gets taken away, so now he has to start over.
Well, it's not even as much as that. It's just, like, he has... he put out of the record with his... bandmate, I guess is the way to put it, or songwriting partner. And then, sure, there was potential and stuff, but he's, you've been in a band, I've been in bands. You're really close to them, especially when you're early on, working independent, doing the, little clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
So you're with them a lot, and to have his partner, and spoiler a little bit, his partner had committed suicide, and that just kind of leaves him looking out for himself.
Yeah.
And I think he there's that point in the dinner party where he kind of lashes out, and that's why he's unwilling to work with groups anymore and stuff.
And it's also, he still feels a little overshadowed a little bit because he's trying to do his own little thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what he did in the past with his partner overshadows everything.
Yeah.
And he hates that. He hates
the
missed potential of, if he didn't kill himself,
yeah,
what could have been.
And I think it's less of him being resentful of that. It's just more of that got taken away from him. The memory keeps getting brought back to him, and he's like, I want to move on. I want to be myself. He's like, I don't, it's something he doesn't want to deal with. And I think that's a really interesting dynamic for his character. And on this journey, we were talking about, he just kind of uses people from one to the next, his friends Gene and Jim, played by Justin Timberlake, and Carey Mulligan.
Yeah. And there's a little thing with her that's
that
touchy.
subplot.
Yeah.
The older couple, where he gets the cat. And then, even Al Cody, the cowboy guy.
Yeah.
Played by, what's his name? I can't remember now.
Is it?
It's the Kylo Ren guy.
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver, yeah, he plays Al Cody. And he meets the guy, he does the session with him, he's like, hey, you got a place? And because he's looking for a place to crash. So it's very similar to Smithereens. Yeah. We tried to get away from the punk thing, and we ended up in the folk singer thing. Yeah. And the movies are very similar.
Let's not forget about Unless I Dreamt It, was F. Murray Abraham in this?
Yeah, okay, he played Ben Grossman, I think.
Yeah, okay,
the manager in Chicago.
I thought I had a dream that he was in it. I don't know.
John Goodman has
John Goodman is great in this.
Yeah.
John Goodman, you can't... Him in any Coen brother movie is worth watching, pretty much.
In the Coens, they do a really great job of casting.
Yeah.
And they assembled a great cast that most of them are super multi-talented. With Oscar Isaacs and Carey Mulligan, Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, I think, if you put him in roles like this, I think he'll really shine as an actor. If he ever gets tired of music or whatever.
Yeah. If he gets tired of doing sellout tours.
Yeah, if he gets tired of the terrible life of being a millionaire musician, I mean, but you could really... Don't put him in stuff like In Time, but put him in stuff like this, like an intimate kind of character.
And again, in another Coen Brothers movie, along with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, tremendous music by T-Bone Burnett, and the songs they assemble for the soundtrack is really great if you like folk songs. I really enjoyed it. This was a really great movie. It's actually one of my favorite Coen Brothers movies now. after watching it.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's an interesting journey where you're following him barely struggling and then eventually deciding to turn his life around and then ending back up in that vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And it makes you question, like, what order everything happened in, but at the same time, you're like, this probably happens all the time.
Yeah.
In this way. So, I really enjoyed it. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's not my favorite Coen Brother movie, but it's good. It's a good, like, nice. As a musician, it's really interesting just seeing watching someone like struggle, and he's trying to catch up to life in general. He's just trying to catch up, but he's always like behind a step.
Mm-hmm. And what's really interesting is,
and doing this, he kind of leaves like damage everywhere, like with what's her face, Jean, like
his sister.
Yeah.
But what I think is really interesting when we're talking about this cycle and like how he keeps kind of perpetuating his own failure, where he's on the hit song but decides to get paid right away rather than wait for royalties.
Yeah. When
it's going to be a hit.
And then he gets the thing, it's like, oh, no charge. And you're like...
Yeah, there's that. And then, going to Ben Grossman, who says, you'd be great in a group. And he doesn't want to do a group because of his past bandmate. But what's really interesting to me is that the final scene, right before he decides he's going to get out of the music business, he's going to go back to the Merchant Marines, and he's unable to, ends up playing the club. And when he gets off stage, Bob Dylan comes on, and that's a signal of how folk rock really kicked off in the 60s at that moment. So right as he's getting out, that's when it kicks off. It keeps perpetuating that failure that he has. And I think it's a really cool, like, poignant moment.
And honestly, his failures are his own.
Yep.
He causes them. It's not like, oh, the world doesn't like him now. He kind of.
It's just the way
it also
it
makes
is.
you think, did he push his friend to do that? It makes you think, like, was this constant failure too much for his partner,
Yeah,
Could be anything. So, bye, Runner Skip.
Bye.
No, I agree with that. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
It's definitely worth buying.
Yeah. So, that's what we think. What do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. What is a Criterion movie what is a Coen Brother movie that should be on Criterion? It's not Blood Simple, obviously. Let us know in the comment section below, because let's push towards it. I don't know how they choose, but let's push towards it.
Yeah, and thank you for the suggestion. I don't remember the username, but somebody suggested this like right before we decided to do it.
Oh.
And you didn't even know about it, which is great.
Yeah.
But thank you for the suggestion. I saw it, and unconsciously I think Wade had it in the back of his mind.
Yeah. I'm editing on these videos, so I'm just like, next one. So, yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
And keep them coming.
Yeah. And next week is our last Music Month episode. We haven't decided what it is yet.
Not yet.
So we decide usually around, I don't know, like Thursday, Friday. So I guess
it's the final decision.
I guess it doesn't. Well, I'm gonna put a poll on Twitter.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, because I was say this episode's gonna come out, and I started thinking like it might not come out on Wednesday and be too late to vote. But anyway, we're gonna put a Twitter question out there. You can DM us your answers, or comment on it, or your answers.
Just reply.
Yeah. So yeah, you can comment or DM us on Twitter when we make the posts. Just tell us what music movie we should do for the end of the month. Also, make your suggestions now, because in October we're doing all horror movies. Or sci-fi. You want to include sci-fi in there?
I think we got enough with horror.
Yeah.
We'll think.
I made a whole list of all the horror movies, and I'm like, there's a lot to choose from.
There's a lot of horror movies.
So if we haven't done it yet, comment below, and on future episodes, like up to October, because we're still making decisions on it. I think we have one that we're definitely doing, but the rest, just keep them coming. So I think that's about it. So until next time, we will see you later.